Whether you're watching, listening or reading this, welcome back to the Runpreneur vlog, where we're on a mission to raise £1 million for children's charities by run vlogging on consecutive days the distance of one lap around the world. It's a staggering 40,075 kilometres and it's going to take about 14 to 15 years to accomplish. So plenty of time to raise that money. I'm going to do a minimum of 5 kilometres a day and I'll even do it barefoot style. So it's a beautiful day today. It's spring, it's Easter Sunday. You'll be seeing this 2 weeks after Easter Sunday, it's just how it works. And the sun's come out, it's pretty fresh, but what a lovely day to celebrate Easter Sunday. And it's Sunday run day, where I normally talk about all things running, although today we've had a bit of a traumatic start where we've lost our beloved hamster, the family pet, and it's something quite poignant about her passing away on Easter Sunday. But I've had upset kids, so I just thought I'd talk you through the process this morning. So as always, if you like this episode, give it a like and subscribe, and let's get started. So I sometimes talk about stuff that happens in my personal life. I'm normally pretty private, but about business and stuff I'm pretty open, but personal life I've always been a pretty private person overall. And this morning, well, it was pretty traumatic because we woke up and the beloved hamster, our family pet, I'm just going past these people, morning, the beloved hamster, which is, her name was Connie, and we've had her for 2 years, and it's the first pet that we've had as a family. My kids are 10, 8 and 6, and it was an incredibly sad morning. I mean, it's always sad when you lose a family pet, but the kids are at the age now where they start understanding, you know, the concept of life and death, and I was mulling over how to tell them this news this morning on Easter Sunday after we give them eggs and presents. It was a massive come down because I think I was honest with them. I think some people kind of glaze over the facts, as in, oh, it's okay, she's passed over to another world, or she's in a better place, which is all very true, but they kind of flirt around the word dead or died or death, and it's I actually looked this up online and for a bit of advice before I unleashed it on my children, and yeah, they said you just need to be honest and open, and I think they understand that better. We also let them look at the dead hamster, which is, you know, I was pretty, you know, mortified to think that I'm letting my children see their dead pet, but it was important. It was kind of closure for them to kind of go through. And it was really hard because you don't know what is right and what is wrong to do in these situations, but hopefully we handled it well. And there's a lot of tears, a lot of emotion, but we said to them, you know, Connie has died, and she's a very old hamster. You know, in terms of hamster years in comparison to humans, she'd probably be in her 90s, so she's had a very full and, you know, fulfilled life, and we've been a massive part of that, and we need to try and celebrate her life rather than mourn her death too much. And they didn't really take it in a positive way. Of course they wouldn't. There's huge amounts of tears and breakdowns, you know, which is to be expected, but I think once they come to terms with it, they then were quite inquisitive and said, well, can we see her? And it was actually nice. I mean, I imagine when a pet dies, it can be, you know, pretty grim and gruesome, which is what it was. But our little hamster, she went to bed, snuggled herself up, closed her eyes, and just didn't wake up. And you know what? It was quite a beautiful thing to see. I'm talking about a pet hamster, and I know a lot of people probably won't get this, but anybody who has pets, they become part of your family. I know dogs and cats are kind of more traditionally associated with, you know, man's best friend, or the loyalty, or the kind of personality, but little hamsters do as well, and from our perspective. And she was a pretty big part of our life over the last 2 years. The kids playing with her daily, or me getting her out, or feeding her treats and that side of things. But to see her pass away in a very peaceful way, and she looked quite beautiful in a peaceful way. She closed her eyes went open. That's one thing that's pretty alarming for a child, to see a dead animal with its eyes open. So she actually went to sleep and she never woke up, and she just looked really comfy and warm in her bed, and it was nice. And they were even stroking her because it wasn't disfigured, or obviously I'm going a bit detailed here, but the body was a little bit stiffer and a bit colder but it wasn't really cold, so it wasn't a horrible experience. And they managed to write their little notes and things and pictures in her shoebox that we kind of created her coffin out of, and then we made it all nice and cozy like a bed, and we made it look like she was just sleeping. It was lovely. And I don't know where I'm going with this episode. I had to go out, I had to learn how deep to dig the hole. I didn't realise I had to go 2 foot deep, and I didn't realise how long it takes to dig a shoebox sized hole that's 2 foot in depth. I had to get the old pickaxe out once I'd got a sweat on trying to cut through tree roots, etc., because we wanted to go under a tree and all these things. And I think the learning experiences from this morning is, most of the time my initial reaction would have been to kind of not hide things, but hide the severity of what's happened and water it down somewhat. Morning. And I would have done that to protect them, but in actual fact, looking into it a bit more, the right thing, all I believe is the right thing to do, is to be open and honest with them, especially when they get to kind of 6 plus, because my youngest is 6, my oldest is 10, and they do understand, and obviously there's a lot of emotions flying around, but I think they took it quite well in the grand scheme of things, and they're now drawing pictures of Connie and looking at past photos and videos and stuff, as you do through the kind of grieving process. But I'm pleased I was actually open and honest with them and explained in detail what we're doing and why we're doing it. And you know what, there's something quite, I'm not a hugely religious person. I completely respect, the religious ways of every faith, but there was something quite heartwarming about our little pet passing away on Easter Sunday. It just felt nice in a warm kind of way. The cycle of life, the reincarnation, and I'm not going to go deep on that subject at all. But it's like maybe there's another hamster being born somewhere else. That's the circle of life, and it was just nice. And I think honesty was something I took a lot from today. I am a notoriously honest person. I'm often too transparent, as my wife would say. But especially with kids, you always, what can they be exposed to, what they should not be exposed to, at what age, is always a big thing. But losing something like a family pet that they'd nurtured for the last 2 years, we were just open and honest, and I think it went pretty well. And the moral to the story is, if you do find yourself in a position like this with similar age children, I think honesty was the right choice for us, and not to dilute it down, but to explain it quite detailed about kind of what happens, and that life's about ups and downs. You lose people throughout life, and animals and pets, nearest and dearest, and then you have experiences where you have new family members born and new friends and relationships that are formed. It's always ups and downs, and the ups wouldn't be as high as they are without experiencing the downs. And when you look at the downs, you celebrate the life that's just passed, as opposed to you have to go through a grieving process, but try and remain positive and think about the good times you had, etc., etc. And rather than we miss this animal, we miss this family member, it's more about, do you remember when we did that, or we did this, it was so funny, it was so much fun. And I think trying to teach them this, because I try and be as positive as I can, but I'm only human. Most people will have ups and downs. I like to think I have more ups than I do downs, and the way I kind of manage my emotions. But I'm trying to instill that in my kids, and that there's opposing forces to every situation. For every negative, there's a positive side to it. For every positive, there's a negative side to it. But you can often choose which side you focus on, and just getting them to focus more on the positive memories, the fun times, the great experiences we had, and celebrate them rather than mourn the fact that we don't have her now. And I think that's what I was really trying to kind of instill in my children as well. So, bit of a real weird episode today, but as I've said, this is my release mechanism to managing my emotions, not just a vlog and hopefully give lots of value, which hopefully I do. But there was quite a poignant lesson I learned this morning about the honesty when meaningful and important situations happen in a family life where you lose someone who's nearest and dearest, how you explain that to your children. And my instant reaction would have been to water it down and try and make it a bit more fluffy, but I spoke factually, and I think my kids really appreciated that, and hopefully I can instill the positive focus of what's happened rather than focusing on the fact that they missed their beloved pet. So that's pretty much it for me today. As always, if you like this episode, give it a like and a subscribe. If you've got any questions, drop me a comment, I'll respond to everyone. If it's a bigger topic, I'll do a separate vlog episode and tag you in. And if you check the links in my bios, you can watch, listen or read this episode. All the content sorted neatly by playlist, so you should be able to find really nice relevant information for yourself, and also keep updated with the challenge that I'm embarking on. Oh yeah, and all I have to say is that the content I talk about has always been geared around helping people overcome the emotions of stress, overwhelm and anxiety by using exercise, or in my case running, as a release mechanism to kind of relieve those daily, weekly stresses, clear your head, process what's gone on, gain clarity, refocus and move on. And I think if you don't have that release mechanism, it's like pressure building up in a pipe, and those stresses will turn into overwhelm. Overwhelm is when you start freezing or procrastinating, too many things going around your head, and then very, very quickly that can turn to anxiety and panic attacks, and it's not a nice place to be, and you're into the realms of mental health issues, which clearly you want to avoid. And it's like the pressure that builds in the pipe. If you don't release it, the pipe bursts, and in that instance it's usually you as an individual, or if it's a business, it's going to have a breakdown, and can often be pretty catastrophic if it gets to that stage. So we clearly want to try and avoid that at all costs. Now, I've been there. I've lost business partners, I've lost businesses, and I've almost been bankrupt because of my inability to manage these emotions in the past. And it's no coincidence that since I've been run vlogging for the last 10 months or so, which is my release valve, I've made more progress in the last 10 months than in the previous 4 years. So hopefully there's enough social proof that this stuff really works. And my pledge to you, if you are someone who's struggling with this, drop me a message, okay? There's no catch here. There's no sale that's associated with the Runpreneur vlog. It's all value giving and helping people. I'll jump on a quick call. There's no catch. We'll go through your situation, and I'll try and give some hints and tips that I've used in my life that I know are transferable to yours, that will make a huge difference to your life. And we've done it to many people already, and we know we've made some really positive differences. And I always said, if the Runpreneur vlog just helps one person or saves one business, it's been 1,000,000% worthwhile. So help is there. It's often free. It's often easier asking strangers than nearest and dearest, in my opinion. So reach out if you need to, and I'll do whatever I can to help you. So that's it for me today. As always, if you like this episode, give it a like, a comment and a subscribe. If you want to see more relevant information or content, check out the links in my bios. You can see all my content is nicely ordered by topic, and you can also keep up to date with my challenge to raise £1 million for children's charities by run vlogging on consecutive days the distance of one lap around the world. It's a staggering 40,075 kilometres. It's going to take 14 to 15 years to accomplish, so plenty of time to raise the money, but it's a truly epic challenge, so keep following the journey and supporting me wherever you can. So all I have to say, is, as always, stay positive, stay happy, and I'll see you tomorrow.